There we are at the stroke of 8 p.m. live on a Friday night. How are we doing? Greetings and salutations to you all. I will do the usual and check out the audio quality just to make sure it's all getting picked up. If you've been listening to this show long enough, you know that we have fumbled a time or two here when it comes to audio. So I always check at the top of the show. Looking good, sounding good. There we are. Looking good in front of nobody, by the way. 0 people here. Nobody wants to hang out on a Friday night. I'm sure you cats will show up soon. The usual social media: Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler. And of course, YouTube at Mike's Golden Streams. The audio version of the show, the Savage Sacktap, available at all podcast outlets should have it, I would assume. I put the RSS feeds out there everywhere from way back in the day when I started it, and I was, if you can imagine, even more stilted, awkward, and unskilled than I am now. Baby steps. Next week, I will be taking Friday night off. I have to do it. It'll be at least 20 miles. I think I'm gonna go for about 22. I mapped out. I did 18 today. I'm absolutely fucking cooked right now. I got up. I did so Thursday night. I teach 2 cardio classes right back to back, and before I do that, I do the class by myself. So after doing the workout, teaching 2 classes, and then setting up the gym for the coach who's coming in this morning to teach, I was pretty fucking beat last night when I got home, and then got up today first thing in the morning to head out for 18, and it was fucking windy out there, baby. I think it was like 30-degree winds. They, on the map that the weatherman shows, there were some places that were getting like 40, some were only getting 20. So I gave it an average of about 30, but I'm sure there were times when it was stiffer and times when it was not quite as bad. But usually I do like a run walk where I'll run for a while and then I'll take a break and walk. Today I just did the 18 straight through with a couple, I'd break, take a piss, slug some water, not piss, but water, and then get back to it. And I ran the entire 18 like that with, the stops were like maybe 30 seconds just to fucking whip it out, spray it, switch some water around and get back at it. And I did so with, I think the only thing I ate this morning before I went out was an apple. So it was a grind out there today, but done. I must have looked terrifying to the fucking kids. It was I finished like right at 3:00 when school was letting out in Hoboken, and I, at the end of that thing, my fucking hair was blown all over the fucking place. I'm sure, one eye was fucking shut and the other one was wide open. I'm just covered in sweat, like limping down the street to go to the Acme to get a water bottle. So the fucking children walking home from school must have been absolutely spooked by my appearance. But yeah, in the books. If you've never gone out and run 18 miles on a very windy day, it's certainly an experience. Vigorous physical activity is good for you. I'm a big Teddy Roosevelt guy. That guy used to hold staff meetings, and he would do it while like playing tennis. He would play tennis with like the Secretary of Defense, and then out of nowhere, he would just decide that it was time to go and like go for a run or do a rock scramble or something like that. And he would lead the cabinet on like a 10-mile run and then a mountain climb. Guy was a fucking lunatic. God bless him. What else do we have here? Oh yeah. Well, we'll talk about old Gene in a second, since they executed that guy by firing squad too. How about that? The cause of death in the Gene Hackman mystery has been revealed. Not that exciting, to be totally honest. So not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. But a howdy to the comments section. Ryan B is here. TJ, howdy. OG turning off. Wow. Oh my God. What an honor. The Skanks are, I'm a big Legion of Skanks fan. Six Crow. Not a chance. I barely make it to 8 o'clock. So yeah, like I literally, with these distance runs, just eat up my entire Friday. So at 7 I was still pretty disheveled. But there is a chance, like within the next 2 years, that the show shifts to a Thursday night. If I ever come off of my Thursday night training shift, I'd probably move it to Thursday night right before the Thursday night game. But anyway, Six Crow, we'll see you back here. You can watch it off the air. It's all right. You got to do your wrestling thing. I don't get it. I mean, I understand the athleticism and everything, but not for me. But if it is for you, enjoy it. Pat Bateman, howdy to you. Joseph Kelly, a fire at the JC. Is there really? I did hear some sirens going off before. Are you you're a local fella, Joseph? Yeah, I did. That's very close to where I am. Mark, I do, in the morning when I get up, I have 2 very big glasses of water with lime juice and pink Himalayan sea salt. Good to know, Joseph. Yeah, it's an interesting neighborhood, this area of the Heights. Apparently, the immigration sweeps have not hit the neighborhood yet, because when I went out for the run this afternoon, there was just a slew of fucking 4 foot tall day laborers standing behind the AutoZone, getting absolutely hammered in the middle of the day. This is horrible news. Cheese. Ozempic is decimating the POG community. It's certainly not something we want to hear. Feels like I'm watching rhinos get their horns snatched. Yeah, Pogs should not be taking Ozempic. Pogs should be squatting and deadlifting so that they can get that sturdy kind of thick. Like, if you've been with women of varying size, you know that, like, the BBWs, as they like to call themselves, you fucking slam into one of those and it's like falling into a pillow. Like, you could fall in. It's like a memory foam mattress. Like, you just kind of fucking disappear in there. But a good pog will have a little muscle under the layer of adipose, and when you crash into it, it makes a very telltale sign. It's one of those, if you know, you know. Lindsey Vaughn. Let's have a look. Lindsey Vaughn. Is she the well, there is a Lindsey Vaughn. She serves in the Kansas House of Representatives from the 22nd District, but I have to assume you're talking about Lindsey Vaughn, the skier, or is there a pornographic actress named Lindsey Vaughn? Let's see what happens if I search Lindsey Vaughn porn. Nope, just a bunch of Lindsey Vaughn. Interesting. I mean, look, I love an athletic gal. So if this is who we're referencing, then certainly. Yeah, okay. So it is I am confirming here in the chat that it is the skier. Yeah, yeah, of course. I love athletic chicks. Orthogonal. Well, I guess well you ruined it for me. I guess I'm out. Not not because of any racial reason, but just because I clearly don't qualify. Unfortunate, but to the brothers out there, enjoy. That is a good one. Philly Fathead is in the house. Semper Fi. Muscle mommies, big fan. Love it. I like chicks that lift weights. I don't want a girl that's like excessively lean, where it looks like she's shredded and has like a shitload of definition and lift weights, but like, a feminine chick who lifts weights and has an athletic muscular body. They tend to have the fattest asses, and you can trust them not also for like longer term, you can trust them not to become fat fucks later on in life if you settle down. So yeah, and especially look, it just never hurts to have a chick who can just absolutely crush your face with her fucking thighs. You know what I'm saying? Good times, good times. Yeah, I see Gibbons and Andrew. You guys are making some valid points down there. Yeah, fun, fun, fun. Um, but anyway, Gene Hackman. This was the mystery of the week. How did Gene Hackman die? Apparently, his wife had a rare virus linked to rodents, and I guess she died before he did, and then he's got like Alzheimer's and what have you, and obviously heart problems, not in a position to take care of himself. She was probably giving him all his meals and everything, and I guess that eventually he just couldn't hang on anymore. I mean, there was no the you got to have a once you hit a certain age, you got to get the life alert. My fucking grandmother died of a stroke, um, because she was by herself. She's a widow, and she had she's old, and she refused to wear the life alert because she thought that whatever, like they could track her, whatever crazy old people fucking reason she wouldn't wear it. And she had a stroke, so they got to her too late, and as a result, she just spent like the last few months of her life in one of those care centers where the nurses like beat the shit out of you, like the fucking patients are all covered in bruises, and those surveillance videos always come out of like the fucking nurse like throwing the patient across the room. So you know if you're getting up there, get the life alert. It's no way to spend your final days in one of those fucking places. But yeah, so Gene and his wife died of hantavirus, and they didn't. I don't think they really said what. Did they say what he died? Probably like just fucking heart failure or something like that. Yeah, yeah, hypertensive and atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, and from Alzheimer's. Um, well, he tested negative for hantavirus though, so I guess that's good. I don't know. Hantavirus, I don't know where. I mean, you get it. They said she got it from a rat, but like, I would think that there would be just cases upon cases of that breaking out in New York City, because even like if you live in an urban area, you know, you could be a very clean, tidy person and just luck of the draw be in a spot where there happened to be a shitload of fucking rodents. I'm amazed that we don't get more of that around here. And you would think with sort of the financial means that Gene Hackman would have. They were living in, maybe it's because they were living, it looked like in kind of like a desert estate. I don't know if there's some kind of, local vermin out there that would have caused it, but that's certainly, I mean, when you're picturing how you're going to go out, if you, contemplate your own demise from time to time, I don't think anyone ever thinks, oh, my wife dies of hantavirus and we're going to be very well off, have a very nice house, a very remote house. My wife is going to die of hantavirus and I will be unable to feed myself or our one dog. And, me and the dog will die a couple days later because I will be a helpless pile of mush. I mean, obviously it's not a very, you can kind of piece together how it went down, but yeah, what a fascinating way to go. There really are 1,000 ways to die. Incredible. Like there was a story on the news this morning about a woman in the Bronx. She went to break up with her boyfriend and he apparently murdered her and then put her body in a suitcase and dumped it on some parkway up in Westchester County. Which, I mean, if nothing else, a lovely place to dump a body. But yeah, wild stuff. I never understood the people who kill the significant other. Just get out of there. Because if you murder your ex or your significant other, then they win when you're rotting in jail because you will get caught. Then they win for the rest of your life. Like, I know it's about getting, to some degree, I guess, the final W over them, but then you're done. You can't even enjoy their absence. You can't even enjoy the fact that they have now just finally shut the fuck up. So I think the breakup is far and away the better choice. Gibbons Gomez, I'm enjoying your Alzheimer's joke here. Well done. Mark, now I have to assume that if he had Alzheimer's, like, he was probably just fucking puttering around the house. It's also possible that, like, he went down. I think they said they found him in the kitchen. He might have just gone down at some point in the kitchen, or like he might have found her and he might have had a heart attack in the kitchen and just been on the floor kind of fucking dehydrating and starving to death over the period of a week or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, there are other things to get to. I saw this story on the news. This brought me a great deal of delight. Active shooter alarm sparks mass stampede at National Cheerleading Championship. Pandemonium. And we don't want mass shootings. And it's not good if there's an incident where people think a mass shooting is taking place. However, it was because some parents got into a fight at the cheerleading competition. And if there is anything that I love, it's the idea that two fucking cheer parents would get so heated, so overzealous that at a children's competition. Now, I don't know if they say the ages of the kid. Oh, so this is one kid was 14. So this is a 14-year-old cheer competition. And if I don't know how familiar you guys are with this kind of thing. I never attended a cheer competition. I did. I was on the way back from Massachusetts, and if you ride I-95 through that part of the country, you can't get Starbucks. It's all fucking Dunkin'. And the thing about Dunkin' Donuts coffee is that it fucking sucks. Starbucks, you can at least do all right. Uh, the Dunkin' coffee it not good. I love a Dunkin' Donut, but their coffee is just pure shit. Um, I also like they make a nice like a coffee. I like their coffee roll. Um, but in any case, uh, there was a Starbucks in a hotel off of 95, so we went in there to get coffee, and it wound up taking 45 minutes because there was a cheer competition was being held in the those big conference rooms that they have, and it looked like it was a Sunday. It looked like the worst way to spend a Sunday as a parent. Like this looked like a terrible thing to be doing, and it was very creepy because there are a lot of very young girls walking around in what's best described as whore makeup, and they're wearing like leotards and shit. Like it's, I mean, the Always Sunny episode, the what's it, Frank's Little Beauties or whatever the fuck it is. Don't diddle kids. I like older women, older than my wife. Fucking that just, I mean, spot fucking on about this. Like, it's just a magnet for insane parents and obvious child molesters and guys who need a cup of coffee on a long ride. But I grew when I was growing up. My girlfriend in high school was she did she was on the teen pageant scene. Um, and this, I mean, if you could imagine, first of all, does not breed the most well-adjusted young women. I'll leave it at that. But um, the insanity of the idea that you would subject your daughters to this kind of thing. And I know a lot like the chicks are into it and it's like a big deal to them. I remember she was watching the Miss Teen USA pageant on TV, which again is not something that should be broadcast, but it was at some point broadcast. And I remember like her sitting there and watching it very earnestly and like nodding along with the commentary. There are adults who do commentary for this kind of thing. There are adults they're grading this and scoring this. Like there's this entire world of adults out there who are very mentally and emotionally invested in child pageantry and cheer competitions, and even like with stuff like gymnastics, it's kind of because you're like, that's actually a very impressive sport, and you're like, oh yeah, it's like that's a great thing to get kids involved in, but you're also like, oh yeah, that that guy who's teaching girls gymnastics, like you got to watch out for this fucking guy. Unless you get, you just need like a stern Eastern European man who's like all fucking business, and he's gonna talk an eating disorder into your kid, but she's gonna be a star athlete and probably won't get molested. I feel like if you have an American gymnastics coach, it's probably just, I mean, every fucking ne'er-do-well in the country lining up for those gigs. Remember that doctor from Michigan State, Larry Nasser, that piece of shit. God, the fucking, what do they do with a guy like that in jail? Is it just you just do 60 years in protective custody, or at some point do you say, I need to be around people, and you just accept getting fucking gang banged by a bunch of bloods? But the idea that, and this, it really does apply to like all kid stuff. Like parents, hockey parents are some of my favorites. Hockey parents get into fights, they go on the ice and get into a fight. um I'm so looking forward to getting to go. I don't have kids, but like I have, right now the count is at 5 nieces and nephews, with knock wood, there's supposed to be another one on the way shortly. um I cannot wait to go to their sporting events and watch this kind of shit unfold in real life. Because obviously, at this juncture in my life, I have no need to go to children's sporting events. But I hear that all of this stuff is happening. Fucking, what could you possibly be fighting? Like, what physical altercation could break out at a children's cheerleading competition that could spark a stampede of the type that takes place when there's a rampage gunman on the scene? And like, those people have to interact with the rest of the world on a daily basis. They are at somewhere out there, whatever. Like, this video will do, maybe 250 views. Of the 250 people who are watching it, the adults who are going to eventually see this, out there among your coworkers, your neighbors, your family members, there are people who are going to take a children's athletic competition, some sort of they will enroll their child in some sort of pageantry, or other performance. I think, like with school musicals, I think it gets pretty fucking heated. Anything where the kids are singing or playing an instrument, and they will get into it to a degree that could prompt violence. And I see that as being one of the big advantages of having kids. Like, there's a lot of things to me that look fucking miserable about having kids. Although I come down on the side of, yeah, it's probably a very good thing to have a kid. But like, at the gym that I teach people at, it's in they're in these big multi-use facilities, whatever, like fucking, in an urban area, they convert an old warehouse or a church or whatever into a fucking thing for various millennial businesses. And there's some sort of school in ours. It's like the Tessa International School or some shit where presumably you take your toddlers and stuff, and they get a more cultured pre-K education than they normally would. And I see these parents, and there's just like, it's just a fucking traffic jam of strollers, and there are all these fucking, these little miniature people who barely come up to fucking knee height are running around all over the fucking place. They can barely get up the stairs. It's a nightmare, absolute fucking nightmare. But I think you have to look at things that balance that out. And for me, going to youth sporting events for the purpose of watching other parents, or watching, the parents of my nieces and nephews' teammates potentially get into physical altercations, is one of the reasons that I will be doing that. My brother-in-law is actually, he's got potential. If we could get a couple fucking high noons in him before a softball game or something like that, and I can get in his ear about how the umpire is giving his daughter a shitty strike zone and maybe missing some calls, stuff like, I could probably get him down onto that field face to face with Blue. Fucking get the old heave ho out of the stadium. Email to my sister about how her husband's no longer welcome at these games. Mark Ravi. Yeah. The volleyball. There's very something about volleyball shorts. When you get to college, volleyball shorts were a celebration. I got to college in the late summer of 2003, and I remember the athletes get there a month early, so the girls volleyball team was there, and they were all walking around in these things. And this was a few years before like leggings as we know them now that tuck into the ass crack and everything and just put everything on display did not exist back then. Like you might catch a chick in like a tight pair of like cotton yoga pants or something like that, and that was like, hey, that's good stuff. Or like a tight pair of sweats that really showed off their curves. But I remember the first time I saw the volleyball chicks walking around in their uniforms. That was just the tops. So yeah, you have to figure any adult male who is involved in the under 18 volleyball scene is that's not good. Um, Ryan, we will have to agree to disagree on this. I just did that their coffee just does absolute shit for me. It just it I don't get. I know a lot of people love it. It just to me it has always kind of tasted like fucking just trash. And I don't find Starbucks to be wonderful either. I'm not like a big coffee snob. I just don't particularly like Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Like I'll drink if I'm on the road, I'll swing if there's a Wawa, a nice big hot Wawa coffee, no problem. It's just Dunkin' in particular does not tickle my fancy. Um, Jordan, no, I did not see the video of Andrew Tate beating up his teen whore. Um, Probably not good for Mr. Tate. I understand he's in America now. I think he's just charged with a crime in every country, though. Like I heard that they were going to arrest him in America. Like I think he's just like wherever he goes, they're just the government's like, yeah, we're going to arrest this guy. And I have no idea what he has done, what he hasn't done. If he's beating up a teenage girl, it's certainly not a good thing. But yeah, I haven't. Other than sometimes I see a video of him kind of bloviating or talking about things, and I'll watch because he does drop some fire lines from time to time. Like when he went on the rant about how if you're broke, you should just eat rotisserie chicken, and you're an asshole if you waste time chopping onions. I thought was very funny. But yeah. Anyway. Dear Abby, if you are new to the show, you may not be aware of this, but I do love a good Dear Abby. Now, the problem is going to be reading this one because I certainly don't want to create any unintentional audio drops of myself that could be taken out of character. But as it turns out, this one was written by a fella who is enjoying the company of another gentleman, and that gentleman's wife does not know what is going on. He says he is a gay man living in a predominantly straight community. And about a year ago, a married couple moved in, and he says one day the husband asked him to come over and help him put a table together, which he obliged. By the way, tables these days, very easy to put together. And, with TaskRabbit and what have you, probably no reason to ask the very limp-wristed neighbor, unless you have unless you have ulterior motives. Um, he says the gentleman thanked him by opening a bottle of wine and then asked what turns him on. Um, he says he thought the question was unusual, but he didn't hold back, and he showed him. Um, and I'm assuming that means that he filleted him, as they have had more counter encounters since then. And he claims now he's feeling used and thinking about telling his wife. I mean, Jesus Christ. Um, he says he thinks she deserves to know that her husband might be gay and is sleeping with other men because he used some gay lingo that makes him think he may not be the only one. I mean, I'm sure. If you're having the neighbor over for some mid-afternoon wine and gay sex, like while the wife is out running errands, you know, yeah, that's not, that's not an accident, right? That's not like fucking that's not like they, well, we got this wine here, may as well drink. And look, Brokeback Mountain is on, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're fucking reenacting a scene or something like that. This is, I mean, of course, clearly done with intent. He says he heard there were some other neighbors talking badly about gays, and this guy didn't defend or take up for them, which upset him too. They live a few doors down. He says it's uncomfortable when he sees him and his wife because she's always waving and is a sweet lady. And he says, rethinking in Florida. Well, I mean, first of all, I'm going to be honest. You just sound kind of like a woman scorned. That's what I think. You know, if the guy's married and you go over there unsuspecting of the fact that this is going to be going on, and then you do it, and then you dip your pen in the ink once more, and perhaps once again and again and again, you knew the score. Is fucking married. Do they have a kid? I mean, I guess they don't have a kid because that would have gotten in the way. Now it feels like, he kind of caught feelings, and he's going to tell the wife just to kind of be a cunt. Yeah, look, that's the risk you run if you engage in that kind of hanky panky with a married gentleman. It's Florida. Go to Miami. Find a Latino with a big hog and let him dick you down. You get over it in a minute. And obviously, if it's Florida, by the way, they probably love using those words that we weren't allowed to use for so long. So if they're throwing those around, and he interjects, come on, guys. Hey, that's offensive. They're going to start asking questions, and they might blow the lid on the whole fucking thing. So, be a little less selfish, all right? You're getting a little discreet down low action from a married dude. Take it for what it is. Enjoy it. Think of it as like, it's a nice treat. Like I go to McDonald's twice a year, load up on double cheeseburgers. But I know McDonald's is never going to be my regular dinner. It's just for fun. That's what you gotta treat this as. You are this guy's McDonald's. And accept that. They're always happy when I walk into McDonald's. I do love that the wife is always waving and is a sweet lady. Like that really feels like something out of like what, like American Beauty or something. Like you just picture like this couple like walking down the street, walking their little golden doodle or whatever, and the husband sees you and just keeps his eyes locked straight ahead, and the wife sees you from across the street. Hey, Ted, When are you coming over? It's been so long. Um, but has it? Um, but what does Abby say? Let's see what Abby says. Dear Rethinking, your mistake was becoming involved with a married man. You may feel used, but remember, you went into that affair enthusiastically. I do not think you should be the person to tell his wife her husband might be gay. He could be bisexual. I appreciate good on Abby for staying PC and up with the times. The person who delivers that tidbit should be her husband, if she doesn't already know that. It's also true. Maybe she does know. Maybe, she went out, she had some errands to run. Maybe she's got some sort of thing going with like her trainer or fucking, whatever. And he told her, "Hey, Ted's coming over. We're gonna put a table together, and then he's going to bend me over it." That's entirely possible. And she might have said, "Okay, honey, have a good time." Some people have very open sexual relationships like that. As for you, it's time to step out of the picture, don't you think? Yeah, seriously, get over it. Get over it. What does the comments section have to say? Hager, welcome to the chat. Good to see you, sir. Our brand, the wine was the first red flag. Of course. I mean, absolutely. Hetero situation, especially in Florida where it's just always hot out. The guy asks, hey, you want to, just step out into the yard, crack a beer before you head out, and you drink the thing fucking standing up, and he's fucking teaching you about the new chlorine system on the pool. Like that's like two straight guys after something like that. Yes, the wine and asking you what turns you on would be that's at that juncture, any hetero would be like, yeah, I gotta fucking like, or they would say, I don't know, fucking pussies, fucking, what do you, well, what's everyone watching these days? Step porn. Indeed they do, Thagano. Indeed they do, and good for them. Patrick Bateman, a tale as old as time. It really is. I think, everybody growing up, I feel like there was that family in town where it was rumored that the father was engaged in some sort of shenanigans. I remember hearing one very recently from my hometown that involved like some sort of alleged ongoing three-way situation between two adult married supposedly hetero gentlemen, and a fucking like barely legal twink of some kind who had just graduated high school. So, and of course, I don't know if it's true. The rumors persist about everything. For the longest time, we thought there was some guy dressed as fucking Batman raping guys in hotel rooms when they went to get hookers. So, take it with a grain of salt. But always love a good Dear Abby. Before we get out of here, and I never get overly political on this show. I do share my political opinions from time to time, but I'm not a aggressively political person. I have a political science degree, and the political discourse in this country over the past decade has just made me just completely stop giving a real fuck about politics. But every once in a while, the American political scene does provide us with a little bit of levity. So I wanted to go ahead and show you guys these videos that I guess House Democrats made. So House Democrats hit peak cringe with embarrassing choose your fighter video. House Democrats released a promotional video this week titled Choose Your Fighter, featuring an all female lineup of congressional members and a social media influencer. This is from lifezet.com. The video, styled like a video game character selection screen, has drawn mixed reactions, with Republicans mocking its over the top presentation and exaggerated self promotion. I don't know that this video has garnered mixed reactions. I think that it's probably been widely mocked by anyone who has seen it. I watched it just now before the show, and it was one of the cringiest, dumbest fucking things I have ever seen. I guess the idea is, as they say in the article here, the video appears to be part of a broader attempt by the Democratic Party to rebrand itself in the wake of President Donald Trump's second term. So after the election, was very kind of curious about what was the liberal response to the election loss going to be, because for weeks and months leading up to it, we had been told Kamala is brat, the vibes are on her side, there's no chance Trump could win, and blah 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 blah. And that was getting pushed very aggressively by sort of the usual culprits in the mainstream media and the what we'll call corporate type influencers, fucking the Colberts and Kimmels of the world. And obviously, I think if you went on like X or anything like that, you kind of saw more the other way. Like, I don't know, man, he's doing all these podcasts, and I'm seeing the clips, and people seem to be enjoying him. So I wanted to see if the Democrats were, sort of doing the introspective thing and saying, hey, we need to, what everyone has said basically is, you need to rebrand yourself as the party of the working class and make a sincere effort to reach out to particularly young men who are fucking struggling. They're graduating college at a lesser rate. They're getting lower paying jobs. All of this shit. Basically saying, hey, you need to make nice with the fucking people you've been shitting all over for the past few years. The John, like, sort of broadly speaking, the Democrats need more John Fetterman types. Whether you agree with all of his policies and stuff or not, but he's kind of that's the kind of guy that they should probably be styling themselves after, like a guy who can be kind of an everyman populist fucking who understands who can speak the language and get on their level, which is something people love about Trump. But instead, they've decided to come out with these series of they made another one where they're all saying like the shit has to stop, and it's just it's every Democratic lawmaker just reciting the same speech over and over, which is it's stupid enough. But they're using profanity because they want to appeal to, I guess if you turn a wrench for a living, you need to hear profanity for a message to get through to you, is what they were implying with that video. But with this one, it feels like a very, very ham-fisted and disingenuous attempt to reach out to like Gen Z male voters who obviously massively supported Trump. Amazing that they supported Trump after the fucking the most exciting years of their youth were spent fucking experiencing the world through a Zoom screen. If you can't believe it. So anyway, there's this video here. They made this choose your fighter video. I don't know if I didn't watch it with volume before. We'll see. I'll turn the volume down a little bit so it doesn't hurt anyone's ears. So here it is. Choose your fighter. This is uh, Sulhee Jessica Wu, and she appears to be, I guess, a blonde Japanese. Which, if you have ever seen, what an appropriate one to start the thing with, because if you've ever seen the movie National Lampoon Senior Trip, there was a fat character. I think his name was Miyaski, who, while they were on their senior trip to Washington, D.C., his goal was to meet and seduce a blonde Japanese woman, which he eventually did do. So, Sulhee Jessica Wu, she is a bento box queen, which also, that sounds like that would be a great way to describe an Asian lesbian. By the way, a bento box queen, like eating Asian pussy should be described as eating bento box. And from now on, that is how I will describe it. Anytime I recall the story to my friends about times that I've hooked up with Asian chicks, I will tell them that I was enjoying a little bento box. She claims to be the mommy of the century and is sleep deprived. So choose your character carefully. But if the vignette involves eating a little pussy, you know who to go to. Who's the next one here? Okay. Oh, AOC, of course. Is this AOC's bedroom, by the way? Because if it is, if this is how AOC has decorated her boudoir, then there's a 100% chance that she does like to fuck, which, that does a lot for me. Her stats here for you gamers: New York's 14th congressional district, which I don't know what's so good about that. But that got a plus. Youngest woman and Latina to be elected to the House. Again, I don't know that does a whole lot for us. It lets us know that she's got a fiery personality and probably a nice thick caboose. And she is a Trekkie, which is seen as a minus. Which I don't know. There are probably a lot of incel dudes out there who like Star Trek, and maybe they voted for the Donald, so maybe I wouldn't call that a negative, but who knows? Who knows? On to the next one. This is Representative Lauren Underwood. And boy, does she have a fucking high forehead. That is a rough hairline for a woman. That is, I don't know if I would have, I certainly would have shot that from a better angle. And I don't know. See, this is the thing. The Republicans right now, after years and years and years of all of that, Christian conservatism and fucking pearl clutching and shit, they got with it and they just started rolling out like fucking hot chicks with guns, which everybody loves. And I know, obviously, some of them you get up close and you're like, well, she's not Miami hot, but they're as a rule, they are rolling out a lot of chicks who seem like they probably like to throw a few back and then get naked. And they're at least they kind of slut themselves up and make themselves look like a lot of fun, even if they're not your particular cup of tea. But the Democrats, it's just a fucking bloodbath here. Come on, this is embarrassing. Youngest black woman elected to Congress, co-founded the Black Maternal Office, hates balloons. By the way, again, not to make this an overly political thing, but I would really stop leaning into the fact that you're a woman of whatever ethnicity and you're in Congress. Like, the people who are excited about that are already voting for you. You're going to have to capture the hearts and minds of the guys who are getting off of airplanes when they see a DEI hire in the cockpit. Like, that's who you need to go after. Here's Representative Catherine Clark. She is the House Minority Whip. Um, Maybe she's a good time. Who knows? I don't mind a blonde in a pantsuit. You rip it off, thong underneath. She's got a pair of leopard heels on. Yeah, maybe she is. Massachusetts 5th Congressional District, not into hair dye. Not a whole lot going on with Miss Clark here. Yeah, I don't know. What's her little dance? What's she gonna do? Is she gonna throw a kick? Oh no, here's Representative Judy Chu. I wonder if she munches bento box. California's 28th congressional district with that haircut, I'd say there's a good chance she does. First Chinese American woman elected to Congress. Again, you know, we're about to go toe to toe with China in a fucking trade war. There's sort of the China. I feel like I don't even think of them as our enemy as so much as I think of them as kind of like a rival. I know they are technically in many ways our enemy, but they're like a frenemy, like that we like do a lot of like high level fucking deals with. I don't know about any of that shit. Canada is our new enemy. Those fucking pussies up north. Any of you guys here in the chat? Good to have you. Consider this to be like this space for us is like when they had the little in World War One, where that Christmas they got together and exchanged gifts across the trench lines. So you Canucks are welcome in here, and I will look forward to calling you my countrymen shortly. Anyway, next, Jasmine Crockett. At least Jasmine is bringing some real energy here. Love the getup. That is a spanking blazer. Texas's 30th congressional district, public defender and attorney, not a morning person. Again, I don't think, easily the best, her and AOC, I guess, are easily the best looking of the bunch. But if you're trying to sell yourself as a lawmaker, I don't think you want to tell everyone that you're not a morning person. Like, who are you appealing to here? The construction workers. I ride the bus very early in the morning. A lot of construction workers on that bus. It's mostly construction workers. So I don't know if letting the country know that you like to sleep in till 10 is the best fucking angle to take here. But she got into office, so who knows? Susie Lee, she's throwing some punches. Nevada's 3rd congressional, president of Communities in Schools of Nevada, two sprained fingers. Maybe she got him caught in a little Chinese finger trap with the other broads in the video. Yeah, I don't know, Susie. I don't know if I'm choosing any of these characters, but I admire your spunk. You got in there throwing punches. There you go. Couple more. Doing it from a squat position. Sporting gal. Anyway, let me get this tab out of here so I can greet you once more. Robbie's 3rd. What are we doing here? Ranking these sluts? This lady beat a scary monster in the last election. I don't know who you're referring to and who she beat in the last election, or unless this is just a video game reference. In which case, well done. You like a Christian gal? Oh, interesting. Who'd Susie Lee beat in the last election? I'm not familiar with her game outside of this. Was it Godzilla? Mothra? Anyway, I love that. What are we doing here ranking these sluts? Um, yes, Thagano. Yeah, making David Hogg the vice chair. Are we allowed to make fun of David Hogg now? I know, Parkland, it was terrible and everything. Well, my good friend lives in Parkland and like works down there, and apparently during the shooting, people were like taking cover in the building that he works with and stuff. So like he's always sort of singing their praises, but David Hogg just seems like I mean I've survived violence, so I guess I can shit on David Hogg. He comes off as such a just a just a disingenuous tool. Um, Someone was saying they like a nice Christian babe. Robbie's third cousin says he likes a Christian babe. Um, yeah, I mean they. I think the. I'm sorry, I have to keep checking my phone. My lady friend is on her way over with a nice Thai dinner. She is not. She's not Asian, so I won't be chowing any bento box. But you know, just some regular good old Mediterranean box. Can't go wrong with that either. Yeah, the trad wife thing. Like when you look at those videos and stuff, there are some very hot chicks doing it, and they have a pristineness to them, I guess, because they engage in far less vice than anyone else. And you combine that with sort of knowing what we now know about like nutrition and hydration and exercise and stuff. Yeah, there are certainly some nice looking Christian gals out there. I remember we used to run track against this school in college. I forget what the fuck their what I forget what the name of the school was, but it was a very religious school. Like the guys on the track team all had these like long fucking like Amish style beards. Very, 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 very like stereotypical Christian. Like old school fucking they're deep in it. Um but the chicks were all fucking in like diesel shape. Like it was. I used to get excited whenever the meet against that. We would do a very rare. You don't really do dual meets in college. You just go to weekend invitationals. But every once a year they would come to an indoor dual meet with us. I think it was like Messiah or something like that was the name of the school. Fucking I'm reading Robbie's. I will get that up in a second, Robbie. Hey, it happens, brother. Don't worry about it. But yeah, there was some nice looking Christian gals on the track. Sorry, I forgot you were a veteran. Susie beat some guy who burned up in war or something. Hey, what are you gonna do? Hey, a win's a win. I we don't. That is one of the things about veterans. We are part of it is that we are supposed to have very thick skin when you go through the training and the initiation process. Shit has to fucking roll off your back. Um, yeah, I guess this is in Vegas. That's interesting. I'm actually will be I'll be spending a couple days in Vegas shortly here. My lady friend and I are going. We're doing some desert hiking, and then before we fly back east, we're going to spend a couple nights on the strip. Interesting, very interesting. Christian babes love belly to belly missionary. Yes, I have that. I have when I was like a teenager. If you hook up with a Christian chick or a chick, like some of them are saving themselves, so they won't allow penetration, but they will straight up fucking just slide their pussies around on your dick, which it's you want to go in, but they explain that that's against the rules prior to doing so, and they just like they give you a hand job using their pussy lips. It's a fascinating experience. Feels pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that's once you've broken the barrier, obviously it doesn't quite compare. But as a youngin, it's not too shabby. Anyway, like I said at the top of the show, I will be off next week because I got to run. I got a 22 miler, and then the week after that, I will be pre-recorded because that I have to attend a function. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Good to have you guys here. Great having a nice full chat tonight. Had a very good time with y'all. There was someone who was irritated by the use of y'all, so that one was for you. Yeah, that's it. Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler. And then, of course, the show. Let people know. Take a screenshot, share it to your Instagram stories. If you're active on like Reddit or whatever, podcast. I don't know where the fuck people hang out on the internet. Put it on X videos, whatever. Get it out there at Mike's Golden Streams, Sacktap Live, and I will catch y'all down the road. Adios, motherfuckers.